did my student teaching, and as Mrs. Smith said, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do. I wanted to be an elementary school teacher, and here I am. So there are so many different avenues. So just keep that in mind. I also taught middle school. I was an elementary school teacher, and I also was a middle school teacher, which I never thought I would do, and I ended up absolutely loving it. And here I am as a professor in the college, and now I'm here to talk to you about something else, which I am the director for our professional development schools. Something else I thought I would never do. So I also want to mimic something that Mr. Sachs said when he said, be relentless in striving toward excellence. That's what this is all about. What I'm getting ready to share with you is an opportunity for you to strive, to start on, not that you haven't already started, but to help you along, to give you some things to start striving for excellence. And that's what the Professional Development School Grant is all about. We do have a website, and some of you were involved in Super Day last year. So you'll see a picture, or there are tons of pictures on there. If you are in Cabell or Wayne County for your student teaching, you may be with a classroom that is coming back to Marshall on September 29th. That is going to be our Super Day this year. So you might be back helping us out again, but you'll be in your teacher role instead of the teacher candidate role. So we will be doing Super Day again, so I hope some of you will be coming back to some of your classrooms. But let me tell you a little bit about the Professional Development Schools Grant. This is a grant through the State Department, and the great news is we do have some things to offer you. The sad news is, and you all are all familiar with this probably now, and if you aren't, by the way, you're going to be. If you stay in West Virginia, our state budget isn't the best. And so over the last couple of years, we have lost a lot of money for our funding because it is a grant. So we still are going to be able to offer you some things, but we're not going to be able to offer the things that we've been able to offer in the past. For instance, if you were a level 2 candidate last semester, you would have already heard this, because in the past we offered some of these things to level 2s. Last year, for the spring semester, half of our funding was rescinded. It was taken back by the state, so we had to cancel what I'm getting ready to share with you. So unfortunately, that's just the way it is, but we are looking at other things to help with funding besides just the state. So what I'm going to share with you today is what we are doing for sure this semester. And then there will be other things. We do coordinate with Cabell County in terms of professional development. So when Cabell County offers professional development, I have everybody's email in here. We can share that professional development with you. Professional development is a huge part of your career. When you become a teacher, you never stop learning, ever. So if you're like, oh, I'm out of school, no, you are not. So professional development is something that you, I'll say on one side, you have to do to keep your job. You have to keep learning. But on the other side, it's something you should want to do because you want to stay updated. You want to do the best you can for your students. So that means you're constantly learning. So it's a have to do, but it should be a want to do. So what I'm going to share with you is a way for us to help you get started with that. So we are going to provide a couple things that require money from the state, but then we will also offer other things that I'll be emailing you about, okay? So the first thing is, if you look at number 1, we do something called STEP, Student Teacher Extended Preparation Program. And basically what students call this is the Saturday seminar. First of all, let me say, none of the things I'm going to share with you are required. This is extra. Let me go back to what Mr. Sachs said. Be relentless in your strive toward excellence. We're trying to help you out with that, okay? So none of this is required, this is extra. In the past, we have offered 6 step sessions a semester. This semester, we are offering 2. That's all we can offer. So I hate that, but again, that's kind of where we are. But you will have the opportunity to do professional development with your school and with your county. So hopefully you will participate in other professional development. But if you'll look at the bottom of that first page, our Saturday seminar this semester is on September 23rd. It's from 9 o'clock to 2:30. It's at the Huntington High School Library, or the Huntington High School. Elementary school, or elementary candidates will be in the library. Secondary candidates will be in another classroom, but everything happens at Huntington High. This workshop is taught by teachers. So you'll have Cabell County teachers there, and they're there to kind of help you with all the things you don't learn here. Like when you get out there, you're going to say, oh my gosh, nobody ever told me this. Like nobody ever told me this child or this student was going to act this way. Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I have how much paperwork to do tonight before tomorrow morning? Nobody ever told me this. Oh, nobody ever told me this parent was going to come in and is very upset with me. There are wonderful things going on too that you may go, oh, nobody ever told me this. But sometimes the reality of things that you don't learn here, you get smacked in the face with. So if you look at, like the title of the elementary teacher session is Survival 101. So they know, as beginning teachers, management is one of the #1 things. And you know, you have management classes here, but you never know until you get out there because every student is different. Every classroom is different. So we can't tell you in every single situation what's going to happen. So you're going to get out there in your schools, you're going to be in your classroom, and you're going to be thinking, oh my gosh, how do I deal with this situation? Or what do I do for this? Or how do I enhance this? Or really, there's not a lot of technology. How can I bring that in? All those questions that you're thinking, okay, now what do I do? This is what these are for. So they're going to share their years and years of expertise with you, and then see what concerns you have now that you're in the classroom. You have your supervising teacher to talk with. You have your university supervisors to talk with. But sometimes we're a little intimidated to talk with them because we know our grade. Like they are the ones observing us and all that. So this is kind of, it gives you somebody else outside to kind of bounce off ideas with. So I would encourage you, if you can, on September 23rd to register for these sessions. The way you register is on this website right here where it says teacher candidate. Oh, it's okay. Because all these things that I'm going to tell you about are right underneath this. So this is the first one. When you click on that, there'll be, I couldn't remember what I put on there. It will tell you all the blah, blah, blah stuff I'm telling you right now. And I have, and did I put them on here? Yes, I shared some of the comments from students in the past that have done this. So I shared some of the comments, and then to actually register for it, it tells you all about it, blah, 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 and then click, if you click there where it said click here, it goes to a registration page and you put your name and email and all that in it. And it has directions to Huntington High School. That's in Cabell County if you're not familiar with this area. So it'll take you maybe 10 minutes from here to get to Huntington High School. So before you jump on that right now, what I need for you to do is look at that date. Some of you might be taking, I don't know when the exams are.
I'm not sure either.
But they're usually on Saturdays.
Yes.
The exams that you all get to take for that certification. So you need to look at that first because it may be an exam day for you. So look at that. We do have a cap on it. We can only take 20 participants in each session. Again, because our funding is diminishing, but we will give you breakfast. We pay you a $25 stipend, so we pay you $25, you'll get a check for $25 from Marshall for coming, and then we feed you lunch. This is something that begins your journey in professional development. A lot of times when you go to professional development, which is learning outside of your teaching day, sometimes it happens during the day, but a lot of times you will be given a stipend for coming. So we are starting that. So we are limited to 20. So if you register for this, you need to be there because you're knocking somebody else out who isn't registered for it. If we get more than 20, Tanya, did she already pick up?
She's probably out.
Okay, most of you know Tanya. Tanya will send you an email and say you're on the waiting list if you register after we've cut off the 20. And the Monday before September 23rd, you can do the math, I don't know what that date is, Tanya will send out an email reminding you, you have registered for this session. Are you still coming? And if you say yes, unless you're in a hospital or something, we need to see you there, because if you say yes, then you're knocking off somebody who's on the waiting list. And in the past, we have had a waiting list. So professionalism is a huge part of what you do. Here at Marshall, all these years that you've been here, the main focus has been your content knowledge and pedagogy. By the way, if you don't know what that word means, heavens to Betsy, before you walk out this door, you better Google that word. It is, that's why you're here. I'm not going to say what it is, pedagogy. So you need to know what that word is. That's your vocabulary word for the day. See, I teach reading, I can never stop. Another thing is like the spelling words. If you don't know those homophones, principal and principal, which way it's spelled, which one is your pal, and which one is a rule, before you walk out the door, I'm sure you know that too. But anyway, so the 3 things that you need to think about when you get out there, your content knowledge, having the knowledge of the content that you're going to teach your students, pedagogy, you're going to look it up, you don't know, hopefully everybody knows that, and professionalism. And the professionalism is just as important. If you're not professional, you're not going to be able to do the other 2, because you're not going to have a job or keep a job. So please be professional. If you register for it, you need to show up. If an emergency comes up, then you need to email me, and you will have my email. I will send you several emails, so you'll have my email, or you'll have Tanya's email. You need to let us know, okay? But I hope to see you all there. It is a fantastic opportunity to learn all those things. You know, every teacher out there has said, I wish I had a class when I was in college that said everything they don't teach you. Well, here we go. We're trying to show you that, okay? All right, so that's one thing we have to offer you. And on the back of that first sheet, it just tells you, you know, what we will offer to you, any materials, you know, that they hand out and all that, but you do get breakfast, lunch, and a stipend. I have the website there. I have it in another place, and then I'll send it to you in an email, but that's what you're looking at here. And then, like I said, I shared some comments from previous participants. Oh, and I will say this. Later on this afternoon, you're going to be talking about the TPA. That's the Teacher Performance Assessment. That is your, how do we say that?
Simulating, I don't know,
This is your summative assignment for passing student teaching. Okay, so you have to pass the TPA. And there are evaluators in the TPA. I'm one of the evaluators, and I want to say last spring, as I was reading some of the TPAs, several people mentioned, because some of the questions will say, what do you feel like you need to learn more about? Now that you've done your experience, what do you feel like you need to seek out in terms of professional development? And there were several teacher candidates or student teachers last semester that said, I wish we had had the step sessions, because I had them in as a level 2, and they were canceled last semester, and that would have helped me with my professional development. So Anyway, just throwing that out. So that's something we have to offer you. The second thing, if you look at number 2 at the bottom of that page, and I cannot tell you how important this is. Mr. Sachs said, be relentless in striving toward excellence. Right here, number 2, again. None of this is required, this is voluntary. When you get out there and you talk with your teachers about the unit that you are going to teach, a lot of times you have these grand ideas and things that you want to do, but you have no money, by the way. Get used to that. So let's start here by thinking realistic about it. So you want to do all these activities, but the school doesn't have the materials that you want to do, and you want to do activities and you don't have the money to go out and buy it. So we offer student-teacher mini grants. That is the third thing here. Amanda, do you care to go ahead and click on the grant so they can see what it is? You can talk with your teacher. These are some pictures on there of student teachers who have done grants. And if you want to click on maybe the PDF file.
The Apple, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's today. There we go.
That's what I say. I've just updated everything
Yeah.
Friday. This is the mini grant. You can see it's a one-page. It is not a huge entailed application. One, it's a great thing to get you started on applying for grants. That's another thing that teachers of excellence do, because they want to do so many things with their classroom, and we are all limited on money. So we apply for grants to try to get more things for our classroom. So this will get you started on that. And by the way, let me just say, all the things that we are doing, you need to put on your resume. If you go to the STEP session, you need to put that on your resume, because a principal who is interviewing you will see you went above and beyond. You went to a profession, you've already started your professional development. That's not something you had to do. If you receive a grant, a mini grant, oh my heavens, put that on your resume for a principal to see, oh, yes, you went above, and we're all hopefully going to go above and beyond in what we're doing out there, but you even went beyond that and wrote a grant and got it. That's huge. And you can see it's not overly cumbersome. So when you get out there, talk with your teachers about what you're going to do for your unit, and think about what type of materials do you need. Maybe you want to take your students on a field trip. This could pay for the bus. It may not, depends on if you go to the Clay Center, it won't pay for the entire trip, but schools know that. We've been doing this a long time, so the school will kind of go half and half. And so talk with your teachers, think about what you would like to do, and if you want to apply for a mini grant, if you look at the top of the second page, the deadline for this first placement, your first 8 weeks placement, is September 6th. That's on a Wednesday by 4 o'clock. You email them to me at Bacchus5, and I have that down at the bottom of the second page. Okay, you're going to email me. We have an advisory council that is made up of public school teachers and professors here at Marshall. We read the grants. And by that Friday, so if you turn it in on the 6th, by the 8th, you will know. So you can tell your teachers when you will know if you're going to get this grant to help you with your units. Let me just say this. If you apply for a grant and get it, now everybody listen very carefully, you have to initially pay for whatever you're doing. Or a lot of times your public school teacher will pay for it, because by the time you get it to me, if we approve it, for Marshall to pay it, we have to send it through accounting and MERC, and it has to go through all these, and it takes weeks. Okay, your unit's already over. So what we do is you or your teacher, that's between the two of you, actually pay for it, and you keep your receipts. You have to have a receipt, or I can't reimburse, okay? If you pay, and this is an issue that has come up, if you pay with a credit card, if you order something, and you can tell your teachers this too, if you order something through Amazon, seems to be a popular place that we are constantly reimbursing, don't save the shipping, like where you've ordered it, down at the bottom, you have to show, and it's not me, if I wrote the checks, then I would just write it to you, but it's not me. It's Marshall University Research Corporation and Accounting. They have to be able to write the check to you. They has to show down at the bottom that there's a zero balance. So when you send us the shipping, it just shows how much it was. It doesn't show that you actually paid for it. So I'm constantly emailing people, oh, you gotta send me something else. And I'm like, oh, I didn't keep it. I truly can't pay you back unless it shows zero balance. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It's up to $200. I think that's the main thing, is the receipts. So talk about it with your teachers. If you have any questions at all about it, email me at Bacchus5, okay? All right, so, and then I knew there was one more thing. You can apply, you can receive one grant this semester. So if you get a grant for the first 8 weeks, you cannot apply for the second 8 weeks. If you apply for a grant the first 8 weeks and you don't get it, just because there were so many, then you can absolutely apply the second 8 weeks, okay? But you can only have one grant per semester, because again, we are limited. So, all right, any questions about that? Okay, and then the last thing that we are offering, again, in terms of funds, there will be other things, like Super Day, we are out coordinating with the schools a lot. But in terms of funds, the last thing is the Student Teacher Awards. The Professional Development Grant, the Professional Development Schools Grant funds our Student Teacher Awards. And what that means is, I will go back to Mr. Sachs, strive for excellence. This is what we're trying to get you to do. So we will, in total layman's terms, give you $200 for being excellent. We offer 4 awards at the end of the semester. We offer an elementary Student Teacher of the Year Award, a secondary Student Teacher of the Year Award, a related arts Student Teacher of the Year Award, and then our 4th award is called Dedication to Service, and it's kind of the overall Student Teacher Award. With that, obviously you get recognition. You also get a $200 check. The student who wins the Dedication to Service Award is typically asked to speak at the graduation, not the university graduation, at the college graduation. And wow, what an awesome thing to put on your resume again. So those are the things that we are offering you. If more things come up, I will email you and let you know. But as of right now, these are the things that are in place. And you can find everything right there on our website, okay? You can register there. You can also find the applications for the mini grant there. And if you want to just go look around at pictures of things students have done, you can see that there. All right? Do you all have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
For the music ed people, since our certification is pre-K through adult for the professional development, would you recommend just going to either or, elementary or secondary?
That's a good question. Typically, they go to secondary,
Okay.
just because that hits middle school and high school. But, I mean, you're elementary too. Maybe you can vacillate back and forth. You're right in the same area. I mean, seriously, you might want to, when you get there, I would go ahead for you and register for secondary. And then when you get there, just say, hey, I'm music. Should I go to the elementary for any particular time? Something like that.
Okay.
And again, in the past, we've offered 2 sessions of each of these. So students who couldn't come to one could go to the other. And that would have hit you. You could have gone one day for the elementary and one for the secondary. So, great question. Thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else? Okay. I wish you all the best of luck. I'm excited for you. You're going to be exhausted, but just know everybody else is seriously. Everybody else is exhausted too. Okay. And that's just the way it is. But it's a fantastic experience. If I can help you at all, Bacchus5, be relentless in striving toward excellence. My child's out there, and she deserves it. And if my child deserves it,
That's right.
because she's just special to me,
Yeah,
your child deserves it, every child deserves it.
that's right.
So, good luck to all of you all.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Backus. And she's right. I mean, I personally, we've talked about this since the first semester I was here. You know, she said one time, you know, my child is out in that classroom and they deserve the best, and I have two, and Dr. Lockwood has one, and we feel the same way, you know. Our kids deserve the best. And when I was teaching and when they were teaching, they were giving the best too, so. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over how to apply for graduation. It is very brief. Then we're gonna take a couple minute break, just to sort of stretch, a little bathroom break, and then when we come back, Dr. Lucas and Dr. Watson will be talking to you about TPA and about live text. Yes, Dr. Allen?
The way the MAT post back applies is different.
Yes.
So if they want to come over here.
Okay.
For the time you're talking to the rest of them, I'll explain. what
Okay, so if you're an MAT or post-bac and you're here today, you can just head on over to Dr. Allen's table. If not, you can just pay attention to me, and I'm actually gonna send you this PowerPoint too. So don't stress out right now and be like, oh gosh, she went ahead, you know, so don't freak out. All right, so the certification expert, Tammy Aliff, actually came up with this PowerPoint. So she just sent it to me. She's not real big on talking to a big group, and so she just asked that I go over this all with you. And like I said, I'm going to go over it with you. Then I'm going to email this whole thing to you, so do not stress out. And then I'm probably actually going to post it on our PLC site that we'll talk about here in a minute too. Okay? I'm on my tip. Can you tell? I'm so short. I'm like on my tiptoes, trying to talk. It's driving me crazy. Okay, so used to in the past, we did a paper application for graduation, and you had to take it over, and you had to do this, you had to do that. That's all kind of went to the wayside. So this is how you're going to apply for graduation. All right? Okay. Oh, okay. Hang on. Guess what? I already skipped one. Oh, geez. Okay. Now. No, I don't. All right. So you're going to sign into MyMU. And on the left sidebar is the Milo link. So you're going to click that. Student Services and Financial, and then Student Records. And it's going to look like that. You see where she circled it and it's yellow and it says Student Records there. Okay, that's where you're going to go to start. All right. And then under Student Records is a little link that says Apply to Graduate. Whoop, whoop. So then you'll hit that. All right. Okay, it costs $50. That's the fee, $50. So you're going to put all of your information in on the graduation application, like name, address, all that. Make sure on the address part you put a home residence that you know you will get mail at. Like, let's say you're living here on campus, but you're from Bridgeport or you're from Morgantown and your parents are still there. Put that address. Don't put your Huntington apartment address, because once your diploma is mailed, are you still going to be here? Get where I'm going with that? Okay. Make sure you put somewhere where you know you're getting mail. All right? And so then you're going to click the button that says bachelor's degree, $50, and you're going to enter in your credit card information, how you're going to pay for it. And then the important part, she's got it right down here on the bottom. You have to click that submit, okay? There's a little button on the very bottom that says submit, and you have to click that. Okay, then you're going to get a confirmation page that you paid, all right? It ends up being $51.12, it looks like, after they charge you $1.12 processing, and they make you do it this way. All right, so you can't complete the application until you've paid. You guys understand this? All right. So after you've completed the payment, the fee payment, then right there it says click here to complete your graduation application. All right. So So you're gonna select the term it's being submitted, which is spring 17. No. Whoop, I just messed up. See, this is old. This is old. Fall 17. Oh gosh. Okay, forget that. Back up. Fall 17. Hopefully it won't even give you that option. Then it says select curriculum. Okay, so you'll select what you are, undergraduate, education, secondary, wherever you're at. So it says like BA elementary ed, BA secondary ed, or BA early ed. Those are your choices. So you select one of those. Then it says graduation date selection. Right here, you've got all of your thing will be in there. You'll have to click down. It'll have a drop down. It'll give you a graduation date selection. Then your diploma name, what you would like for your diploma to say, the name on it. If you don't want it to say, let's say you don't want it to have your middle name, then just delete. Don't put that in. Most people want their full name though. Diploma mailing address selection again. Remember how important that is. Okay. Continue at the very bottom right there. And then it'll give you a summary. You'll read over it, make sure everything is correct on it. That's up to you. And then submit request. Again, the submit is important. So after you submit it, you can view it. You go back to the student records and click on View Application to Graduate. So you can view that's your application. And it'll say application status active. So everything should be on there. And that's it. Like I said, I'm going to send you this off probably tomorrow morning when I get here. So don't stress. But Tammy didn't give me that. On the email I send you tomorrow morning, we'll also have the date, the last date that you can apply by. Okay? Please don't wait till the last minute. I mean, I know $50 is $50, it's a lot of money, but we always end up having on that very last day, Tammy will yell at me and say, hey, they ain't pay their graduation fee. And then I end up calling you, like frantically trying to get a hold of you because it has to be paid by noon, and if it's not paid by noon, then you're not graduating. Do not procrastinate this, okay? Got it? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so when I go through all this,
Yes.
and on the graduation application page, it says, what, how? It says no active graduation applications exist, which clearly I'm going to put on.
Right.
Okay, apply to graduate.
Okay.
Instead of view application.
Yes. Yeah, because you haven't completed it yet. Yes, sir.
I applied in March of
Okay.
this year on the old paper way.
Okay.
So I didn't do anything extra at this point.
You need to email Tammy and ask her if you have any questions on this. ALIF, ALIFF @marshall.edu. And I will send you that tomorrow as well. And she could just tell you, yes, you need to update it, or no, you're good. Okay? Yes.
I already went to Czar's office
Yes.
and paid the $50 fee, so if I just go online, would it already?
It should allow you to view yours,
Okay.
possibly. Okay? Okay. Yes.
I don't know if it's silly or not,
No.
but what about people that have like a specialization?
You should be able to add that, or there should
Okay.
be like a box where you can put that in.
Okay.
Okay? And if there's not, that's a good Tammy question. Okay? Yes, ma'am.
Will we get an email if we are approved or denied?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that once it goes through, I mean, here's what happens. With us, you guys, your last day of student teaching is December 5th. And so after December 5th, we do what's called a letter of completion, which shows that you have completed and fulfilled all your requirements for us. And those are for counties to be able to hire you and things like that. But that also, we check off on the graduation list as well. So Tammy is in charge of all of that, all of the certification, all of the graduation portion of it. So if you have a question like that about whether or not, you're iffy or, anything like that, you can always ask me or Tammy, but I'll just include that on our email tomorrow. So tomorrow you'll be getting an email from me with this PowerPoint and any of the information that you needed, like whether or not, what the final day is, whether or not you'll get a confirmation, et cetera. Yes?
When you're a double major within education, will you get one diploma or two? Like, do we have to pay for two?
You should get one.
Okay.
Yes. That's a great question. So, any other questions for the good of the group on this? Okay, so let's take just a brief break.